Okay. Hello and welcome to today's session for LIPS Legal, Lease Enfranchisement and Extension, Review and Update. I'm Sarah Thompson Copsey. According to the Association of Leasehold Enfranchisement Practitioners, there has been a significant increase in interest on their site, and they reckon that COVID-19 is giving leaseholders the chance to review their leases and work out whether or not they want to utilise the provisions of the 1993 Act to either extend their leases by taking a new lease for 90 years plus the unexpired term, or to get together with other long leaseholders within their block to collectively enfranchise. So today we're going to have a brief review of the qualification provisions behind the 93 Act, honing in on a couple of recent cases on both collective enfranchisement and on lease extension around the word building and around the definition of the word flat. We're going to have a reminder of the process, a quick look back at the process and how it works. We're going to be looking at a couple of cases before the courts recently on the terms of acquisition of the freehold or the terms of the new lease. And then we're going to be looking at some of the practical problems that the Association of Leasehold Practitioners actually highlight in their voluntary protocol around notices, around valuation, around services, a service of notice, not services, service of notices, and of course around the thing that's probably the hardest to get to grips with under the 93 Act, the timetable, which continues apace regardless of the global pandemic. So we're going to be looking at qualification. So this isn't a how-to session, this is a review and really an update looking at current topics, current cases. So we're going to be looking at qualification provisions around the word building, the definition of building, which of course doesn't exist in the Act, the definition doesn't exist, and the definition of flat, definition does exist there. Around the terms of acquisition when you're talking about collective enfranchisement, and particularly things like basement and subsoil leases and airspace leases, very, very popular in today's world as freeholders looking perhaps, or indeed sometimes head leaseholders of buildings looking to maximise the development potential of a building, looking also at a recent case on lease terms and how and whether lease terms can be changed. We'll be then looking at notices, so signature of notices, particularly in today's world, if we can't get hold of the people who need to sign the notices, service of the notices, how should they be served, email, by hand, by post, and how does the fact that so many people are still working at home impact on all of this, and also on valuations, looking at whether or not surveyors can actually get access in order to make valuations. And then we'll be looking at the timetable and whether it's still critical, and the answer to that is yes, it absolutely is still critical. But ALEP, the Association of Leasehold Enfranchisement Practitioners, have come up with a voluntary guidance notice, or voluntary protocol as it were, which suggests that there may be some ways in which the timetable can be eased by agreement. So we're going to start by looking at qualification, and we're looking here at the rights to collectively enfranchise for the tenants to get together, if enough of them get together, to force the freeholder to sell them the freehold for a premium.